Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of Figuring Shit Out. Since it's Valentine's Day or whatever, we're going to be talking about things that has to do with love. I are probably wondering, who the fuck
Seems aggressive.
is this person
Okay.
in my motherfucking podcast? You're probably wondering, who is this person? And why is he so handsome? And why is he so not the same skin tone as I am?
What?
Yeah, I know. That's probably what is going through your mind right now. Why is it kind of like the opposite of me? It's wild, isn't it? Anyways, this is my Lomle, the love of my life at the moment. Who knows? I'm just jokes.
This is just oof. Are you negging me? Is that what's happening? You're taking me on like an emotional roller coaster. Handsome, but we have different skin tones, and that's abrupt. He's the opposite of me, which also seems bad.
No, opposites attract.
Okay.
That's ugly. It's okay.
Yeah, I am very, very much worse at singing than she is. You're supposed to protest that? Okay.
Oh.
Fine. Jesus. I had self-esteem coming into this podcast, you know.
No, like baby, you sing.
You do it.
You sing.
You try.
This is my man. His love of my life is wonderful. It's been wonderful to me or whatever. Today we're going to be talking about love and how our perception of it has changed over time or grown or progressed. So yeah, grab you a cup of coffee, a glass of wine, or a glass of whatever the fuck you want to grab. I have my cup of tea and he has his cup of coffee and it's black, no cream. Let's get right into it. We're going to be talking about how our perception of love has grown and progressed over time. How we feel about love. What is love to you? Growing up, love for me was very romantic. That was the emphasis of what love represented. Over time, I have realized that love is energy that can be gotten from different sources and not just from a romantic partner, and especially from yourself. And I think once you start to love yourself, then you start to recognize what that looks like from others, and not just romantically, even in friendships. Over time, my perception of love has gone from focus on romantic partner, which is great because I love you. I think me going on my self-love journey has also helped me to be able to recognize someone that properly loves me. And it is also helping me love the people in my life better as a result of going on my self-love journey. So I think for me, it has gone from expecting love from the outside world to me finding that love within myself, giving it out, and then it just attracting the same from outside. It's not everyone that's gonna give that to you, but you can gauge it based on how you also love yourself, if that makes sense. So yeah, how do we feel?
Self-love is important. I think you need to have a awareness and affection for yourself. You need to give yourself a break, but also I think it's very easy to use self-love as a excuse. I think that it's very easy to delve into almost self-infatuation in an unhealthy way, narcissism to a certain extent. It's also very easy to not acknowledge your failings because you are trying to be kind to yourself. So I think the key fundamental is having an understanding of who you want to be and loving the aspects of yourself that are close to there or getting there, and loving yourself for wanting that and working on it.
Very fair. I think I tend to look at things from a holistic point of view, in the sense that I always catch myself if I'm getting to that point of, girl, are you being delusional? Or how has your actions brought you to this point?
Mhm.
I feel like true self-love is also acknowledging your feelings. I think when people don't acknowledge that, I don't believe that to be self-love. Self-love sometimes requires discipline. It requires accountability. It requires taking responsibility for your fuck-ups, owning up to it. But then it's on you to do better as well. But you can't guilt yourself all the time. You can't basically punish yourself all the time. You just put yourself on timeout and say, oh, I fucked up, so I'm a fuck up. There has to be a balance of both. And I think that balance is the self-love part that I try to emphasize.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I don't think I necessarily agree, because it's to me it sounds like for you love is a wholly positive experience. In terms of you have to, as part of self-love, you still need to acknowledge and work on your flaws. I think for me, love is a devotion, loyalty to an individual, and that can be yourself, that can be other people, and it can be unhealthy. And I think it's important to acknowledge, toxic love is a very real thing. People are in love with people that do just make them miserable. It's important to acknowledge that love is it's a very precise thing. So you can be in love with the wrong individual, and you need to acknowledge that and move on and have the strength to, until you can find someone who is worthy of your love in order for you and good for you as well. You need to find that individual, and you do need to be selective about that process. It's not a wholly good thing. Love can attach you to wrong individuals all the time.
I think that's why the focus should be on the self-love part before others. You are stuck with yourself. So the way you treat yourself is going to sort of mirror the way you give love and experience it back from others, usually.
I think there's an order to how it should go. You should have love for people, so maybe family members, friends, and this should allow you to identify the things that you love in yourself, because it's through other people's interaction with other people that we know where we want to be and who we want to be, and traits that we find admirable, traits that we don't like, and kind of build ourselves around it, and then can start to actually love and appreciate yourself for going towards those positive traits. And then it becomes then at that point you want to move on to a romantic love. Ideally, realistically, I think a lot of people, I haven't finished the self-love stage. I don't think it's a continuous process.
It's a continuous process. It's a journey. And so you said there's a hierarchy for it. So the first step is others loving you, and then
having I think love in its best form, unrequited love's a very sad thing, but we don't need to go into it. In its best form, it's reciprocal feeling, and if having that with friends, family members, and then building a community around you allows you to identify who you want to be. So growing up, usually you see traits in your parents that you admire. It doesn't really matter how flawed the individual parents are, because there's usually at least a thing, maybe acts of kindness, even in a hard situation. Maybe it's some level of grit and determination to get through things. There'll be some positive aspects that you will associate with your parents. unless in a very small minority of cases. And in that case, that's rough. But then it's through that love that you then reach out to people that portray values that you find important. So you foster loving relationships with them in a platonic love capacity, but still.
Everything is intertwined. Because like the way you are making it seem, and I think that's what has been interesting about this conversation. You tend to separate some experiences, and I think usually, for me, the way life has always worked is all of these things happen at the same time. You're on your self-love journey while you're learning how to love yourself through the way others are showing you love, so you know what you don't want, what you want, what you find admirable. It's also being on self-love journey.
I don't think you're on your self-love journey till your teens, at least.
I think also like the way you're raised will say a lot about having that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
Because when you're young, if you come from a home where they emphasize, listen, you have to treat yourself nicely, you have to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, that when you grow up, it just grows up with you. So for people that don't grow up in that setting, the actual journey, the intentional journey doesn't start until later in life, whenever. Because you might say teen. No, some people don't get that until like their later adult years. Some people just never even get there.
I did say the ideal situation.
Yeah. So I think it's also about like how you were raised, what they hammered into you as a child as what love is and what love is supposed to look like. And emphasis on having a personal relationship with yourself, because you have to get to know you. Like if you don't know yourself, how you gonna tell someone else about who the fuck you are? And if you don't treat yourself with grace, if you don't treat yourself with kindness and love, why would you expect another person to? Except that person also, does that, or they have a philosophy of just treating other people with kindness. And we know this world that we're in, people just don't be treating people with kindness, not all the time. So it's important to have a place to tap into when the world isn't giving you that. That is within yourself.
I think if I can move to relationships a little bit, if I may. No, I think that's kind of my point. I don't think if there was any part of this that was someone took me aside and said, describe what a loving relationship should be, I would be able to describe what my current loving relationship's like, but not if like what it should be. The idea of an ideal loving relationship is weird to me, because the mechanism is going to be different for
it's going to be different for everybody. And that's why that's why I always emphasize having a personal relationship with self. When two people that have two relationships with themselves, and then they come together, then they will teach each other how to love each other. But it doesn't mean that you get to translate into another person that they, exactly. So I think the most important relationship that you can have on earth is the one you have with yourself.
I'd say friends and family, to be honest.
Friends and family as well. But I think
You can't have both. They can't both be the most important thing.
No, they're also important.
Yeah, but we're doing a scale here. You've gone
Sweetheart,
most self.
Stop it.
Who's that?
Just because one exists doesn't mean the other cannot.
I'm just trying to suck up to your family, to be honest. They're like, he's got it. He's got it.
Just because one exists doesn't mean the other cannot.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's my entire way of looking at life. Just because this is this doesn't mean that cannot be that. It can be.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but for me personally, I think having a good relationship with yourself just helps you navigate relationships with others. That's why it's important to reflect on yourself. Build that relationship step by step. Know what you like, know where you're at, and you'll be able to better communicate it with the other people in your life.
Sure. I think one of the things that resonated with me with what you said, because there's some areas that, as I said, we just don't view the world the same way.
You always emphasize that.
Well,
It annoys
it's
me.
fun.
No, it actually annoys me.
Okay, well, I don't want to be like, I don't agree with that, you're wrong, because I don't think you're wrong. So I want to demonstrate that I'm not saying that what everything you say is incorrect.
It's
saying,
like, oh, we have different points of view. We have opposite. Sir, relax.
It's just for me to then say, like, I don't necessarily agree with everything, but I don't want to say that not everything is correct, because I agree with that is your position. And I don't think it's not like I'm saying that's wrong. I'm just saying that is not how I view the world. So
Which is fair.
So that's why I'm mitigating. It's not because I'm trying to be like, we have nothing in common. No, I'm trying to just explain when I say something that seems very different to what you're saying. I'm not trying to invalidate what you say. I'm just saying it from my perspective.
Very fair.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the thing that you said that spoke to me was the fact that self-love is very important to cultivate separately to then have that learning experience, because I think what happens to a lot of people, and I think everyone, a lot of people have gone through even loving relationships with the wrong person. And that's very easy to do if you haven't had that time period to actually understand how you want to be loved, how you need to be loved, what those mechanisms are, how you want to feel appreciated, and all of those kind of very important fundamentals. Because it's very easy to be with someone for potentially the wrong reasons, but grow an emotional attachment that can blossom into a love, and then later find out that actually it's fundamentally not meeting your needs as an individual. As you do grow to love yourself, you can see, hang on, this is not the thing that I should have been in. And that sucks, but equally it's a learning experience for everyone. And it's a very important thing.
Emphasis on the learning.
Yeah.
Because that's just life. I think life is just a series of learning. Just keep learning and growing.
Until you die.
Literally. But like I said, the most important relationship that you can have is the one that you have with yourself, because you can't get rid of yourself. You can't. Let's not do that.
Try and avoid getting rid of friends and family as well. I mean, I guess you can, but try and avoid it, preferably.
No, like you can't. No, but you can take a break.
Yeah.
From friends and family. You can be like, you know what? I don't want to deal with you today. Okay, let me go on a walk. You know who the fuck you gonna go on that walk with? Your damn self.
She didn't say God. I'm just disappointed. As a Christian, newly converted, just for this point. It's you and God you go on the walk with. Thank you. There's one set of footprints. I can't remember what's that analogy? That metaphor?
Exactly. That's why you don't know what you were trying to say. You go on that walk with yourself. Okay.
And God.
Yeah. Maybe the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit on the side. But for the most part,
missing out the Father.
I said the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit.
You said Son and Holy Spirit. Oof, he's not gonna like that. Shame. I didn't forget you, big man.
I don't understand. Like, how did we go from I don't hold such sentiments, I don't believe. But big man.
We're close.
Oh, you're tight.
Yeah.
Your mates.
I call him Big G.
I was gonna say something else, but I'm not gonna do it on this podcast. But yeah, so you can take a break from others, but you gotta learn to cultivate that relationship with self, and you don't hold these sentiments. Even having a relationship with God is like that. So it's something that you grow. It's something that you water. It doesn't just happen. It's just like every other relationship you have with other people. And I think that's what having a relationship itself is also like. Because you have to think about, how did this make me feel? Did I really enjoy that? Oh, this is what I like now. Like, I don't know about you, but for me, when I find something I really like and I think about it, I'm like, oh my god, I like this thing now. It just makes me happy. It makes me happy. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, this is what we're doing now.
You've got a happier culture than mine.
I've got a happier coach.
Culture. The English sentiment is a miserable sentiment. It's something we're very proud of.
Yeah.
A love for God, and being able to receive love from God as an outside observer seems to be a very important thing for people. And I think my experiences with religious people, those who struggle with faith, it's an important relationship to nurture in whatever mechanism it goes, whether you choose not to have it, such as myself, or if you renegotiate the terms in a way with God, your understanding of God, whatever God it is, obviously. It does seem to be an important thing and really help individuals. I think a lot of people who go through hard times, there's a lot of addiction organisations that are very much centred around religious text, and it can be very beneficial to people. So I think it is also a love to cultivate, and if you are atheistic like myself, a different component, your relationship with the world you perceive, your universe, that is still an important thing to love. The beauty of natural things,
Exactly.
Experiences, music, it is important to have these moments of love for what is, and if what is created by a divine thing, a relationship with them. If not, then a relationship with the ideology, I guess, the idea of what has made these things, how amazing it is. As a science nerd, I guess, I am always blown away by how things have changed, how things have evolved, how things exist, and that kind of love for or amazement even, I think is important to have, because you do, going back to the joy aspect, do lose a lot of joy without that kind of loving relationship as well.
Yeah. And it just goes back to the gratitude thing and having perspective thing as well.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what we've been able to chat about today. And like I said, this life ain't come with no damn manual. We're all just trying to figure this shit out. So
most of us are. I know.
He doesn't know.
Sorted,
he clearly doesn't know jack shit.
Literally. You know those pearls of wisdom I dropped? Take that to the bank. All of that.
Take what
Gold.
to the bank? Go take it to the bank and then what?
They'll be like, that's great advice. Here's 5 million. That's what they'll do. They'll be like, thank you so much for introducing me to this.
That they said, are you going to take $500,000 on dinner with Jay-Z?
I'm taking the I'm either taking the $500,000 or I'm having the dinner with Jay-Z and charging him $5 million. No,
you're not. You don't get that option to charge.
Nah, and Jay-Z's having a dinner with me. He better fork up. Otherwise, I'm being like, waste my time, mate. I don't know what I can teach you.
Okay. We like a man that knows his damn worth. Okay.
You like a man that's delusional.
Delulu? No, you're not delusional. You know your worth.
So Jay-Z, you know my price now. If you want to reach out, $5 million
is worth more than that.
Yeah. I might reduce the price.
Oh my god! Like, why is he dropping?
Maybe like if you just want a starter.
We just talked about self-love. What is this?
Hold on, a starter for $2 million's fine. $5 million's the free course though, so you do get a lot more time with me.
This man is literally negotiating his worth. That's crazy. He's negotiating his value. What did we talk about today?
You should negotiate your value.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, I just think you should be able to negotiate
you know
your
what?
value.
We're not doing this. Anyhow, thank you very much.
I'm only with you because I am a great negotiator. I'm dating up. It's perfect. I've done well.
He's doing very well.
I'm a hustler, baby. That sounded awful.
In this mean street.
Yeah,
you've been hustling your way through.
Definitely.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you very much for coming to the to the show. And yeah, hopefully we'll have you on. We'll see how the people like this. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell me how you are being more grateful. If you're on like a gratitude journey thingy, let me know. Let me know how your perspective of love has changed over time and how it's shaping who you are as a human being. You know, we emphasize love over here because what you gonna do without it, huh? Anyhow, thank you once again and see you on the next episode. Happy Valentine's Day.
Do we wave? No?
Happy Valentine's Day.
You sure? Or happy self-love day, if whatever the situation.
It can be Valentine's and it's towards yourself. You don't have to emphasize on
She's so mean to me, honestly.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Either with you and your partner, or with yourself, or with
multiple partners, if polyamory's the way, you know. Go for it. Live your life.
Okay.
Also, apparently, if you say subscribe, the subscribe button highlights on YouTube now. So exit the video and check it out and click it just to make sure.
Oh, look at you! Boop. Bye.